On January 14th, we came under heavy terrorist attack, led and coordinated by militias who, from all evidence, were state-sponsored and state-backed, with the sole aim of killing me to permanently silence me from making any other exposure on the rigging plans against the 2023 general election. We were shot at. We were bombed with high-grade explosive. Houses were leveled with bombs. Those still standing were shaken to their foundations, and vehicles numbering over 32 were all set ablaze with this explosive. Several motorcycles belonging to us and hardworking villagers were burnt, among other property valued in billions that was lost in the attack. They attacked in broad daylight, firing from all angles and leaving over 500 bullet holes on the houses in my country home. Innocent people were killed for no reason. January 14 now is very quickly assuming a dark day in the history of Imo State. On 14 January 2022, Imo State watched helplessly as a man whom they did not vote for was pronounced as governor of the state, an illegitimacy that haunts us till this day. Since then, Imo has been turned into a killing field, with tributaries of blood now flowing into the Atlantic Ocean. We got intelligence that a convoy of assailants was looking for the way to my home. I did not see the message when it arrived because I was discussing with my team. But upon seeing it, I rushed out to inform the security men on duty to reinforce and organize. And while that was going on, I sighted the convoy. But before our security men could react, they opened fire at me. I only narrowly escaped being hit by the special grace and mercy of God. With the security men, we now rushed into one of our houses and formed a defense that they continued to hit on. why not face me? Why not face me? Threatening you as what? That you are no, that you are carrying. Then on 23rd December 2022, we got to Imo State, and despite their best effort, we made it to Akokwa, my hometown. But when my convoy left to take my guests who came from Abuja with me to Owerri, we were attacked by hooded men who did not speak Igbo language but spoke like those from Rivers and Bayelsa, and they opened fire. But in a white hilux was seated this same Chinasa Nwaneri, who was coordinating the attack. After this attack, I also wrote petitions to the security agencies and also the National Security Advisor. Yet to the base of my knowledge, nothing was done. This is the petition we wrote on 29th December 2022 to Inspector General of Police, and the one we wrote on the same 29th December to the National Security Advisor received and acknowledged about the assassination attempt on my life led by Governor Uzodimma's head. If the security agencies have apprehended Chinasa, we will not have gotten to the second phase of the terrorist attack at my place that left many people dead. This was exactly Chinasa, just like Chinasa said, that they are in charge of all security agencies and nobody can help me. Chinasa also asked if I knew that several Bubagu members were unknown and that it would be easy for them to make me disappear without traces and nothing would happen. Till date, this man Chinasa still walks the street freely, enjoying the full backing of the state and moving about with a retinue of policemen. I continued my campaigns while putting my faith and hope in God and the institutions of the state, which I believe would be decent enough to protect us. On January 14, during the attack, I succeeded in sending emergency SOS message. The security agencies in Imo did not respond promptly. They only did long after the attack. Till today, I'm not aware anybody from DSS in Imo visited the crime scene. I'm also not aware that the Commissioner of Police visited the scene. I'm also not aware of any official statement from these security agencies about the attack. I appreciate one of the DIG, who I will not mention his name, who made efforts from Abuja. Also the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Imo State, the area commander and divisional police officer in charge of Akokwa, who at one time or the other visited. Nigerians, however, saw a governor who rushed to the media to try to impede investigation, if any, by dishing out untenable and indefensible narrative to water down the massacre of our people. When Uzodimma spoke, he made reference to documents in his possession. The question would then be, did the governor have a brief of what happened to me even before it happened? What can Uzodimma tell the world that he did with the so-called security report of my so-called meetings with people who wanted to stop election in Southeast? Or did he not do anything because he knew the so-called people would come and attack me? So when exactly did the governor receive his security report, as there's yet no investigation on the terrorist attack on my house? The storyline of the governor seemed much like a prepared speech he already had to announce my death to Ndimo, that those I had a non-existing agreement with killed me after I breached the agreement he concocted in his head. But he failed and was unable to change the statement. and has succeeded in sending out an SOS, and there may be independent intervention. The car got stuck in a ditch and they were forced to bomb it there, setting it ablaze. But as God will have it, we were able to retrieve the number plate. The number plate, it is still there on the road leading to my house. You can see it clearly. You can see it clearly here. The number plate, we were able to retrieve it. I was gotten the woman and got the original registration of their car. You can see where it was bombed along the road so that they will hide that evidence. This piece of evidence from our private investigation debunks completely the lies of Hope Uzodinma about the identity of those who attacked my house and the direction they come from. The Hope Uzodinma who have been looking for any reason, however flimsy, to put me away for exposing on Magic cannot change the facts of what happened in my house on 14 January. If truly Uzodinma had any credible intelligence against me to stop election in the Southeast, why did he not use such reports since to nail me? Rather, he was cooking bogus allegations which could not be sustained in court. By his comments, Uzodinma admitted that he knew I was going to be killed, and he did not do anything about it. Yet he said he is chief security officer. Can it not now be said that it was the silence that led to the death that occurred in my house? The same method of labeling me and making unfounded allegations. We are gathering more evidence. We are still running analysis of some of the things we found, and in due course, more facts will emerge. Just for clarity's sake and for record, I have never had any meetings with any IPOB or ESM members or any other persons or group for election not to hold. I have been on this campaign and consultation for over 3 years now, with every town and village visited. So how can I want to stop a process I have spent and invested huge resources and time, for which the great people of Idato are ready to massively vote for me in few weeks' time? I therefore challenge Governor Uzodinma to bring forward the purported evidence he said were in his possession about the date, time, venue of the meetings I had with IPOB members and ESN and their identities. That I advocate for the release of Maazị Nnamdi Kanu and exposure of the evil plot to rig the 2023 general election called on Magic does not require me to be killed. These things are based on my sincere belief that it is the right thing to do, and Uzodinma cannot scare me away from that view with his false allegations against me. I have been consulting for the last 3 years, traversing every town and villages in the federal constituency, investing millions of hard-earned money, yet someone said I discussed with people for election not to hold. Such a stupid allegation. If I had started moves and consultations since 3 years ago, when then could that meeting have been? If Uzodinma is not guilty of Magic as he wants the public to believe, why has he been panicking and looking for excuses to put me away? Nigerians will remember that the government organized 7 press conferences in 3 days to attack me. They brought out one condemned criminal from the prison to come to claim that I'm his gay partner. That is how low those Uzodinma government can go. How low could Imo State government led by Uzodinma go? Officials of the government shared the hurriedly shot videos, including his SA who led the first attack on Michina Sawaneri. Now, officials of the government shared it. The guilty conscience of Uzodinma government cannot be seen by anyone looking at him. Does all this not show he is no longer fit to be in the office of the governor of a state? If by his own admission he said that he knew people were going to kill someone, and his only reaction was to conclude that the person deserved death, then he has lost every right to be a governor of a state. Assuming I deserve death, what about the other innocent people who have died in that attack? Do they also deserve death? What of those whose properties were burnt? What of those whose houses were shaken to the foundation and glass pans shattered by the explosive? Do they deserve to be so punished? That, unfortunately, is the consequences of unmerited and an undeserved mandate. I therefore use this opportunity to call on Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, the National Security Advisor, the Inspector General of Police, and the DSS to fulfill their promise to Nigerian people to rein in this government-backed militia and killer squad. They will remember that this was their promise when political leaders met with them. If there is any humanity left in us, please let the carnage in Imo State be stopped immediately and in different parts of the the beavers, and other initiatives so far to make our election free and fair. We must ask Mr. President to immediately demand for the investigation report on those who compromised the voter registration process, now called Omuma Magic, and also the investigation report of the INEC office, the transport unit that was burnt in Owerri. That report and what happened will also lead to us to understand those who are behind the carnage in Imo. If the perpetrators are allowed to continue to work free, they are still plotting to undermine the process, and this is capable of throwing our country into unrest if not well managed. Mr. President, ask the security agencies to unravel those people, to unravel how these people intended to use the fake names and photographs they loaded into the voter register to get accredited and vote. This answer will unravel a lot of things and safeguard our election. This is part of the reason they bombed us and wants to kill me. Mr. President, we say this because we have intelligence that these people have assurances that they will have accreditation numbers preloaded for them. Though Nigerians have heard from Professor Mahmoud Yakub that the beavers is foolproof and cannot be hacked, and we believe and trust Mahmoud. These people hold the strong belief that they have already found a way around it. We do not think the country should relax until election day, only to find out that the evil people have succeeded. Please, we call for investigations now. Find them now before it is too late. They are running around looking for how to kill me because they know I have intelligence. Find them now, Mr. President, before they throw the country into crisis. We ask, who are those INEC says are trying to hack the INEC server and other platform? It is these same people, hence we need to make hay while the sun shines. Finally, to my brothers and sisters in Idato, in Imo State, and Nigeria at large, I call on you today to learn from my courage and stand up to these murderers, though it is coming at a very huge cost. But I say to you, stand up to these cowards. They cannot stand fair competition. If our forefathers who fought slave trade did not stand firm, if our forefathers who gave us freedom from colonialism did not stand firm, who know where we would have been today? We should not succumb to their fear element. They use that to attempt to overpower us. I say to all of us, stand up to these men. The men who sponsored this bloody attack wanted me and my entire family dead. They could not bear the pain and future fear of the information at my disposal that I will keep releasing. Their vultures and dogs, while they bombed us, kept shouting how today will be my last, and how they will have my head severed from my body, and how they will make a video of my last hours. But at last, I am here, stronger than ever before, by the only power of God, who has kept me from being eaten by these vultures that have taken over Imo State. God does not want me dead until I actualize God's purpose. These sponsors of Akokwa Mayhem had wished that even though their killer agent missed me by the whiskers, that I would at last be too shocked and afraid to speak about the things I know. But I believe that the greatest weapon of the oppressor is fear, once they're able to frighten you. But despite carnage, our will has been made stronger. We are stronger, and our faith in God also stronger than ever before. We will be returning home to finish strong the people's project of providing a strong voice and effective representation for our people. We hope that Mr. President, the National Security Advisor, the Inspector General of Police, and the Director General of the DSS, in keeping to their promise, should direct for arrest and prosecution of these vultures that have taken over Imo State and stopped the bloodbath. I will appeal to Mr. President again on the need for political solution and resolution of the Nnamdi Kanu issue, with his unconditional release, to pave way for genuine reconciliation and peace building in addressing all issues. The power resides with you, Mr. President. The courts have ruled at different stages, and you have the constitutional power. Ignore the advice of those who benefit from the unending blood flow and are hiding under it to unleash mayhem on our people.